aterrizando, porque para mí realmente no es fácil hacer estos videos. So I'm gonna do this in English, and from now on, it will be, because it's easier right now for me if I make it in English. Because what I want to say, I'll probably also share in another language, but maybe right now it will reach more people that might be going through the same stuff that I'm going through. So it's intense. I have arrived to a moment in which I need to forgive a lot of things, so my life can keep improving and my health gets better, and my mental health also kind of like finds more peace. And I am understanding reasons to be mad with my mom still, and I'm sure like there will be many of you having serious issues with your mothers, mothers. And as a mother myself, then I am a mom. I have a 25 years old daughter, and as a mom and as a mother of a woman now, well, previously a baby girl, then a child, and a teenage, and now a young woman, it's been very difficult for me to forgive my mother, because my mother wasn't present during my life, and the times that she was present, it was too unreal. Like my mom, she had another way of living that in that time I could not understand, but I do now. And I do like really deeply. So thinking about those things just minutes before, I understood that I can forgive her. I understand this as a mother too, so I can forgive her. And it feels really like good in my body, the idea of being forgiven with my mom, because as a woman, as a mother, as a niece, as a friend of other women, sisters, I know now in particular, now, that for a mother, for a woman to let a child 1, 2, 3 times, to not being able to stay with your child, to not being able to do whatever it takes to raise your child, that woman, that is that mother that can't stay there with a child, must be dealing with so much, must be so out of touch with reality, must be so in such a unimaginable suffering and confusion and even probably delusion, if it's not that it's just going through very difficult life situations, let's say scarcity, poverty, and those things. But if it's a person that could have stayed in your life, or if he's in your life, could have, you know what I mean, could have been a better mother, it's because the person is not okay. Something is really like happening, and the level of pain or the level of disconnection with herself and with the sense of being a mom and the motherhood and what it means to be a mom and what it takes from us, like to be there for our children. There's no other way that if it's not, because probably the situation wasn't allowing a woman to raise a child, like when you don't have the resources, or you are like facing a situation that is difficult. So, but if the situation was okay and she could have been there, and even like that the person didn't stay, it's because it wasn't in the right like center and connection with herself. And when we understand that it comes from a very disassociated connection with herself, and then knowing that it cannot give something proper to that child, we can then enter in the forgiveness. Because even if it's done on purpose, like they throw you. In my case, I was born a bit sick as a baby, and then when it was the time to go back home, I went into my grandparents so they could take care of me, because my mom was going to the university still. Or this is a story that I know. I don't know. This is what they told me, and I choose to believe this. And so I just stay, and she really didn't raise me at all. And then it happened the same with my siblings. And there was always this like judgment from my part towards her because of how that was seen in my family, because then like the non-stoppable comparisons about me looking like her, which is true, and I love it, because for me, I find that my mom is or was such a beautiful woman, like in so many ways. But in my house, just being like her, because she betrayed the family in many ways, she was then considered as a bad person and other stuff. Anyway, so now I understand, as a mom, now I understand that for other women to just not be there with their children when the conditions are appropriate, it is because the person is not okay. And I can understand when you're not okay, if you need to actually disconnect from the child because you're protecting your child in that way. But I think then, moving forward, like working in this forgiveness to myself, with myself, or forgiving myself for not being able to understand this first, and being so cruel, so mean, so affected and traumatized by having that woman as a mother. Then some things are happening, and what I would suggest is, if you are a young woman, a teenage, and you're finding this, so be very mindful. Be very mindful with your path, with your everyday life. And if you are not going to be able to be there for your child, just take care and don't get pregnant. And that will save so much. So much. That will save that child and the generations after that child. So that's how responsible we have to be. And we have to learn to forgive our mothers if they weren't there or they did things to us on purpose. It's just they were not okay. And then there must be some reason why they were not okay, and that is to be understood. And then, release. So that's it. Até já, like we say here in Portugal. Bye.